What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I want to go ahead and do a recap of my last 2 trading days, but we're going to really focus on the trades from today. I'll share with you what I did yesterday. I'll share with you what I did today, but the trades from today, I think, will share a good lesson. Both of these trades very much in line with the NASDAQ futures and the S&P 500 futures, lining up those trades like we've previously talked about in other videos, making sure that our individual trades makes sense when we look at the overall market. So today I took a nice QQQ downside off that same 430 supply level that we have been talking about. Used some really clean candle confirmation, which I will touch on in today's video. And then after that, we're going to review an NVIDIA trade, also using a clean supply level, looking for a rejection to the downside. Quick trade, nice profit. Pretty much called it a day after those 2 trades. Something that I've been really focusing on lately after getting in a little bit too many positions and having that red day that you guys saw is I've been trying to limit the things that I've been holding, trying to limit the amount that I've been trading. I've been on a really good hot streak, right? You guys know that, and I don't want to get overconfident, so I sort of brought my expectations down. I decreased a little bit of size, but I'm still going at it. I'm still taking these positions, but doing it in a little bit more precision, right? I felt myself getting a little bit out of control with my positions, with the amount of things I was holding. I got caught on that Monday morning holding a little bit too much, holding a little bit more than I should have. And what I'm focusing on now more than anything is keeping it clean. And over the last 2 days, I felt like I have done that well. So let's break down my last 2 days. I hope you guys learned something from today's video. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel as always. Let's jump right into it. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and import my trades from today right here on TradeZello. We're going to import trades. We'll drag over the CSV straight from Interactive Brokers, and we'll get the trades from today. So 20 executions, 2 trades, right? 2 trades, kept it very simple today. 2 for 2, which I'm very happy about here on today's trading day. So took a total of 60 contracts on my entire day, spent about $115 in commissions, and I walk away today with about a $2,000 day off of QQQ and NVIDIA. So let's go ahead and start with, we can go ahead and go back into yesterday's trading day and just go over to that Google trade. This was really one of the only trades that I took yesterday, one of the only major trades that I took yesterday. And this was a rejection of the 20 SMA. So you can see right here, I was sort of scaling into positions, exiting down here. Why did I take that trade? I'll go ahead and quickly review with you why I took that trade on Google yesterday. This one also does show a good lesson of trading with the overall market. So here's Google from yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here. Just 1 second. I'm going to zoom in there, and we're going to look at yesterday's trading day, which was right here. I'm going to go ahead and put on the after hours. It'll make it a little bit more clear. And you can see this was yesterday's trading day right there. Now, yesterday, right, we moved higher into Google, right into that previous supply level, right? We had that supply from the previous day, right around that $146 level, which also lined up very well with that 20 SMA, that daily 20 SMA. So yesterday, right, I saw us pushing right back into that level. And with that, I was looking for that rejection once again. Now, the thing that really got me interested in this rejection, which I talk about a lot in this video, are those wicks, right? Those wick rejections. And if we zoom into yesterday's price action, we can see that Google started the day with some really aggressive wicks off that supply, right? Every push into that supply, we had those wicks that were pushing back to the downside. So I went ahead and I entered into some puts here and pretty much just rode this thing down for a nice profit. Again, what tactics am I using in this trade? Number 1, I'm using that daily 20 SMA, which you guys know I always watch. I'm using supply levels, right, that previous day high. And on top of that, I am using the QQQ and the NASDAQ supply. So if we go into the NASDAQ yesterday, right, we can see that yesterday we had a very nice rejection of that 430 level once again. This was the same supply level on the NASDAQ and the QQQ that we rejected here on Friday, that we had a general rejection of on Monday, and I saw us rejecting that again yesterday. So I lined up that Google play with that QQQ rejection, and I got a very nice downside move. Now, something that I realized yesterday into today was that Google, in this particular example, did not move as much, right, yesterday to the downside as did the QQQ off that rejection. And because of that, right, today I decided to play a little bit of QQQ off of that level, right, because I was sort of saying, hey, if we're going to reject 430, let me just go ahead and play that QQQ if that's what we see again today. And that is what I did. So if we go back to TradeZella and we go back to the dashboard, we can see here, we'll go into today's trading day and we'll go ahead and start with that QQQ trade. So today, you guys will see right here, I went ahead and I entered some QQQ puts, and I pretty much had a really quick aggressive move in my favor off the open and scaled out for a nice 14% gain, about $1,000 profit. 14%, 10 to anywhere from 10 to 20 is, as you guys know, sort of my style. That's what I aim for, and when I get that, I take it. So why did I take this rejection on the QQQ today, right? What was I looking for that gave me that confidence to play that short? Well, first of all, let's start here, right? First of all, we come into today and we knew 430 was a level, right? We've seen multiple rejections off that level, and we knew 430 was a supply, right? That was very clear. So if we come into today and we go to the 2-minute chart, let's break this down and see what we saw here early morning today. So what did we do, right? We opened the morning and we pretty much rejected immediately off that 430, 430.5 level. We saw that quick aggressive off the open downside move, and I knew pretty much right away that I was going to be looking for this rejection once again. We had a little bit of consolidation, and if we have that exact 430 level, which is right here, right, what we can see, and I'll go ahead and create another little zone here for us to make sure we know exactly where 430 is. What we'll see here is that after rejecting that extreme high, we got back under 430. I'll go ahead and zoom in to that two-minute time frame. And we can see that we had that quick aggressive drop, and we started to see some very ugly wick rejections, right? We saw that wick rejection. We saw that wick rejection. We saw that wick rejection. And I knew that we were getting stuck back under 430, and we had this little bear flag that was potentially setting up, right? We had this little bear flag. We had these wick rejections at my 430 level. We saw that early morning supply step in, and I told to the group saying, hey, this has happened the last 3 days. Let's try it again, right? Let's see if this supply does step up as another rejection point that we could take short. So you guys can see that. I'll go ahead and go to the executions. I got into 50 QQQ put contracts at 938, and I was scaling out pretty much quickly into this push right here. 938 was this candle right here, and we got a very quick move in our favor. Unfortunately, I don't have this trade recorded live, but I do have the next trade recorded live, which was NVIDIA, and I'll make sure to break that down and show you the live trade at the end of today's video. So this trade was just trusting the levels, right? It was simply, once again, trusting that we could potentially see that 430 level reject, that 430.5 level reject, and on top of that, this was also, if we go to the NASDAQ futures, this was also our 17,770 level on the NASDAQ futures, right? Early morning, we had 17,770. This was the same exact level that the NASDAQ futures had rejected previously about 3 times, right? Rejection back here on Friday, rejection on Monday, or I'm sorry, on Tuesday intraday, and today I was looking for that same thing. Now today, you can see this was short-lived, right? And this again sort of gives you a little bit of perspective as to why I take profits relatively quick, whether I think it's going to continue or not, right? Because in this situation, what you'll see, this is how I sort of do it. See how I closed out of my last 2 contracts there at about break even for a small loss? If today would have been another dive to the downside and continuation to the downside, I would be more than happy to hold those 2 contracts and let it move in my favor and soak up the gains with that smaller size. But there's going to be situations, right? If you don't scale out, there's going to be situations like we saw today where you get that quick move, you get into a nice profit position, and it reverses on you aggressively. You were up about 10, 20, 25%. You didn't take any profits. You get a quick reversal, and you end up red on the trade. So I will do that every single time to avoid that happening to me. I don't care if I think it's going to happen or not. It's a systematic approach to trading, all right? And we can't, as humans, as just someone that's monitoring the market, we do not have information of what the market looks like into the future, right? We can only judge and only protect ourselves what's happening real time. And I take profits off. I take majority of my contracts off after a 10 to 20% move every time to avoid, right, this type of move, right? Over the last few days, I could have said to myself, oh, man, I shouldn't have taken profits, right? Look how much more this went. You know, you could have said to yourself, you'd be looking back in your trade saying, I need to hold longer. I need to hold my whole position longer. Same thing here. I need to hold my whole position longer. So then you come into today and you have that greedy mentality, right? You say, oh, I'm going to hold my position longer today. I'm not going to sell any. I'm not going to take any profits. Bam, right? Right in your face. And this is called protecting yourself. This is called risk management. And risk management is going to win in the long term rather than being greedy, trying to hold your whole position, and trying to get the entire gains with your entire size. So I was able to get a good profit early morning. I held to see if I could soak it up, right? Milk up the profits with some smaller size. You can see I was down to 2, right? Around this 9:46 time frame. I was down to 2. I had 2 left, and I was willing to see if it would continue. It did not. It sort of bounced in my face, right? But in this situation, I only have 2 left, so I don't give back profits, right? If I would have held my whole position, I originally entered at 131. If I held my whole position for this exit right here, I would have lost on this trade. So again, just a good example of scaling out, taking some profits off. You never know what this market's going to do. If it reverses on you, let it reverse on you with smaller size and still walk away profitable. All right, guys, so the next trade we're going to review, and this one I do have live to share with you, was NVIDIA. I made about a $850 profit, about a 9-10% ROI. It was just about 9%. At the peak of the contracts, I think they were up about 15. Overall net gain on this one, about 9%. A little bit smaller, right? Not a fantastic trade, but in terms of supply and in terms of entry points based off the market and scaling out, I think I did a really good job here. So you guys can see right here, I took about 10 contracts on NVIDIA, scaled out. I was in at 950, scaled out at 1021, 1025, 1090, right, 1096, and then my last contract out at $9. So you guys can see right here, right, I'll zoom in a little bit for you to see this a little bit closer. Again, right, the same approach to my trading, systematic, right? Just that in itself, I hope you can take away from this video how systematic it needs to be to stay consistent and to do the same thing over and over again. You can see from my executions here on NVIDIA, I did the exact same thing. I took quick profits. When I got my quick move, I held a runner to see if it would continue for me so I could say to myself, hey, you were there, you held a little bit, now it's up 100%, 150%, right? Maybe it moves a lot for me. At least I got something in the game, right? Some skin in the game instead of being fully in. And you can see, once again, right, my last exit was lower than my first entry. So if I did not take any profits here, I would have lost on this trade. There's no reason to give back full profits if you get a quick move in your favor, if you caught something correctly, right? So here's NVIDIA. Why did I take this downside trade on NVIDIA? I will explain it to you right here. After I do this, I'll go ahead and run the live recording, and then we'll wrap up today's video. So you guys can see right here, right? NVIDIA, we had this 694 level, 694, right? 694 was a very major previous rejection back here on Monday of this week. So today, NVIDIA had a very aggressive move into that 694. And if we go down to the 2-minute time frame, we will see visibly we had a lot of inability, right? We had a lot of action not able to get above that 694, right? And what really got me interested in this trade, which you're going to hear in the live recording, which I think will really explain to you how important it is to wait for break and retest, wait for confirmation. You can see we had 2 attempts at 694, right? 1 and 2. 2 attempts to get over a key supply level. On the third attempt, a little bit tricky, right? A little bit of a little cheeky attempt to try to get over that 694. You guys see this candle right here? It attempted to get over 694, and it wicked back under, right? That was very key for me to look to see if we could get the downside. We were seeing a very, very clear wick back under that supply. It attempted, right? Got some buyers interested, and failed right back below. When I saw that, I knew that I could take an attempt for this trend break trade, right, and look for this quick aggressive downside. This at the same time, which was around 1046, was around the same time that the NASDAQ also put itself into a little bit of a double top. So if we go into the NASDAQ and we go to 1046, that was right here. So you can see the NASDAQ, we had a high of day around 1030. We came back up and we put in a very aggressive wick at that same high of day, a very clean double top and wick rejection right there. So I saw the NASDAQ double topping. I saw a very aggressive wick back down on the NASDAQ, which aligned perfectly with that NVIDIA fail of my key supply level, right? A wick, a little fake out. And so I took this short looking for that downside move. I'll go ahead and go back to the executions. You can see, entered there around 1053, took a quick profit, held some to see if I could get more. Ultimately, I went ahead and jumped out as the runners were going back to my original entry. Now, I want to show you something here, guys, on NVIDIA and just share with you how key the break and retest is, because you can see later in the day, right? Early morning, we could not get above 694, right? We knew that. 694, NVIDIA can't get above that level. What happened around 1:30 to 2 o'clock? Look at how clear NVIDIA went ahead and broke back above, right? And held above that previous supply. This, in its glory, is the break and retest, right? And look what the result was here on NVIDIA. Perfect, beautiful upside, right? Because what did NVIDIA do? Instead of rejecting that level, we turned it into a new support. And this is what we wait for as traders. We stay patient for our levels to invalidate, right? If it was a previous rejection point, if we're looking too long above that level, we stay patient. We wait for it to prove to be a new support. And that is what NVIDIA did this entire time right here, ultimately breaking out of this flag for a very nice upside move. So right there in itself, right, I shorted the 694 level, but later in the day, if you were still around, look at how clear it turned it into support and created a beautiful upside move later day. That same concept with the break and retest, I'll show you this real quick, is the exact same thing again that the NASDAQ did, right? We had NASDAQ rejections around that 17,770. If we go over, we can see NASDAQ rejections around this 17,800, right? That whole red zone that I have on my screen. And what did the NASDAQ do today? The NASDAQ was able to break above, right? Come back into it, and look at how the NASDAQ was able to turn that red zone that I had on my charts into a new support. Very key here on the NASDAQ. And as long as the NASDAQ is above this level, right? As long as the NASDAQ is above that 17.8, I would assume that this thing has more continuation. A key break and retest that showed up today on the NASDAQ futures. Something to be watching here over the next few trading days. So guys, those were my trades from today. 2 rejection plays, which is pretty interesting because the market was relatively strong all day, but I was very precise in some of my entries off key supply levels. I have the NVIDIA trade recorded live. I will share that with you guys at the end of today's video. What you're going to hear from today is straight from the Discord community, where we trade live every single day in the voice chat. If you have any interest in joining, you can check out the link down below. Got a 10% coupon running right now. Feel free to go ahead and take advantage of that. I hope you guys learned something from today's video. If you enjoyed it, please press that like button, subscribe to the channel for more, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. All right, NVIDIA's over. Let's look at it. Let's look for a nice hold above. AMD could be a long off 170. NVIDIA not loving that wick. I'm still waiting for something cleaner there. Yeah, that's still a no trade on NVIDIA. That's a really good example of why we wait for retests right there. See that? Okay, you just saved yourself from getting railed. gotta wait for the break and hold above. You do not get railed into breakouts like that. Okay, let's see if this one can hold above. No. Still no. Man, I'm tempted to short meta. Oh man, I'm tempted to short meta. That looks like a nice little weakness at 570, 470. But that Nasdaq's just too strong. That Nasdaq's just too strong right now. That's another failed attempt on Nvidia, guys. I hope you just realized what just happened there, okay? This is a big part of the break and retest. Not only does it give you great entries, but it also saves you from getting faked out when you're trading and you're just like, what just happened, right? That moment where you try to long on a breakout and then that happens. That is like the worst thing to do in trading. It's just the most frustrating. So the strategy does not, you should never get faked out. There is no such thing as failed breakouts in the break and retest. Potential double top on ESNQ. Be on a lookout for that. All right, hold on, guys. I'm watching Nvidia for potential break of trend here with a double top on the Nasdaq. Yeah, I'm gonna try Nvidia shorts here. A little bit against. So if you're gonna do this, you better have a quick stop. But I'm looking at a little double top on NQES. I'm going to have a stop right over this 694 level. I could be breaking a rule here. But I sort of like the potential of a quick drop here. If this trend breaks and this Nasdaq ES come back down. Off that double top rejection. I took a 690 put. They're expensive, guys. Be careful. Oh, baby, 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 baby. Half off Nvidia. This could bounce at 5,000. This could still bounce. ES at 5,000 could bounce. Take half off. Market orders. This could bounce right back. That's really that pullback. I'm gonna get out of this when the ES hits 5,000. If I get that continuation. There we go. There we go. Okay, more off Nvidia. Yep. Down to one contract. That's it, guys.